Hello there, I wanted to do this update today. This is part of communicating about it's part of a series of reflection about using AI and agents to develop, to build things. All right, so let me show you a picture, a photo of what happens today, in the day, through the day. All right, so here's a case screen. I have the code and I caught myself saying something to the agent. I'm using Codex GPT 5.1, okay, because I wanted an update. And here's a point. Most of these changes are happening through the day as things happen. For example, so I'm working today updating a visual tool. This is a presentation tool, like slides player tool. All right, and it's pretty much driven. The requirements for this tool are driven by real uh, really needs associated with the usage. Okay, so here's a case. So this is the presentation player, and when I use my the mouse, I can flip through slides. Okay, I'm gonna reload here for you. You see, I'm talking about Wiplex for psychologists. So I want to show our website first. Then, I want to show the case of a client. And then I want to talk about this specific page from the government where the user can see if the psychologist is active, this is like their official ID as a psychologist with the government. Now, the subject that we're changing here today has nothing to do with the case, with the business case. But I realized that when I was going through the slides, you see there are visual effects there, right? I pass, next slide, you see like the tablet rotates, right? You see? And there's also this animation, right? With the page flying. So that's the tool that I'm using to communicate about my clients. It's pretty cool, right? And nevertheless, I realized that something went wrong because you see that the visual effect there with the colors as you move through slides, it changes colors, right? But I had before the limelight effect. Those color circles were rotating behind the screen, and I really enjoyed that effect. Okay, so all right, back to the real use case here that I'm talking about, with the agent. Let's fix something because I realized that bug, and I don't even remember when I made a change, very important change, which caused that bug, right? So the first statement there is, I wanted to review our app.js and CSS regarding what I call the blob animation, the creation thing, okay? And perhaps you can talk about some organization to that, and also if necessary, do an update to the README to cover that in the architecture parts. So when I'm changing these systems, because this presentation system came as a kind of a byproduct of working, of having customers and doing sites for them, and the needs for doing nice presentations, right? So I wanted that tool, I needed that tool. And, because I can show the websites. Now, because of that, I realized that documentation matters a lot. And, we know from ages that documentation matters a lot. But in this virtuous collaboration situation, documentation matters a lot, right? Because when you do changes to a code, you want to respect certain principles there, right? So I think now we have a good parallel with culture, because documentation for systems developers, information systems, is culture. Because agents are going to touch your code. You need principles there, right? So back to the case then, is I was thinking that the whole blob effect thing, like I'm using jargon, right? We have also a dictionary of jargon here, is indeed something that applies to all the slides, applies to transitions, right? So just like the effects that you see happening, which kicks a slide out of the screen, right? So there's something here, it kicks a slide, missing a space there, out of the screen. What do you think? I mean, these are consistent, persistent, and applicable to all slides. So I'm basically making a point here to the tool, right? I'm saying, oh, we have principles here, right? You want these flex, blob animations, call it whatever you want, and the slides flying around to be persistent across the presentation. I'm suggesting to this agent system, to these collaborators, it doesn't really matter if they're agents or humans now, right? I'm suggesting to them, hey, let's pause here. We never thought about that, right? Let's have a conversation about this here. These effects are decorating effects applicable to the whole presentation. But there are things there they're applicable to the slides, to the sections. There are other things that are applicable to the whole, right? Very important. It changes everything, right? Because that's going to impact the architecture in the end of the day. So that's the case I have. Let's see what happens. Actually, next statement paragraph is going to be, let me think here. It's going to be something like this. So please check out a bug that I have, because blob's animation is not rotating anymore. I want to bring back something that we had before with those 4 circles rotating behind, but make sure that the indication about the usage of the blob animation effects associated with the color, because my slides, the sections, they do have colors. So make sure that the animations that we're talking about associated with the colors of the slides are actually specified, as in use the blob effect in terms of the parent level for the whole presentations. And what we're talking here is basically architecture, right? It's systems architecture. So I expect that from there, any organization to that code is gonna happen probably following that principle. And then I'm gonna ask, if you think it's very easy, if you don't think it's too complex, please go ahead and put the slide animation, you know, the movement of the animations kicking in and out, which involves, by the way, entering states and exit states. Put that also as part of the same place in the code, so that I can see that those, how do we call those things, right? Those are what? Execution handlers, presentation handlers, maybe. Making sure that these presentation handlers are in a proper part of the code, and making sure that they do have in and out states for entering or exiting or going back. Something like that, right? So let's see. I'm gonna make a paragraph there. I'm gonna pause this video, and then I'll probably continue here. Pause. Okay, I'm back here. All right. So basically, the specification is something like this, right? Now, Now, in terms of refactoring, update please the index.json specification for that presentation of this customer, and please attach to the whole part effect handlers called blob or slides kick. So of course, now in the code, keep these effect handlers are their own singleton based, that's jargon, singleton based services. Okay to be a lib underscore effect handlers JS with 2 singleton classes, objects, jargon one for each other. Notice that the blob one does taking BG attribute from the slides, and notice that they also have forward and backward events, right? So for example, kick has kick out and kick in, while blob's rotation may have rotate 60 degrees right and 60 degrees left. Makes sense? If so, update that, and I will test this preso, and if works later, we will fix other specs JSON for the other presos, and that's it. And then Go. All right. So this is very interesting, right? I'll probably have to pause here because I don't know how long it's gonna take. Working, preparing multi-step plan. Now we have tasks there, right? Inspect current app CSS presentation spec to understand blob animation, slide kick behavior, refactor code base to introduce effect render singletons, blob slide kick, integrate them, app JS logic makes sense. Refresh styles and data spec to support new handlers, restore blob animation behavior to rotation color morphing. I really like jargon. Update README architectural notes are needed and validate changes, satisfy requirements. Whoa, it's happening, right? Listing directory files, searching for app.js file, locating CSS, explored files in public, preparing to inspect key files, reading app.js, something going on. Designing. Oh, by the way, this is the first day that I'm using GPT 5.1 Codex. Okay, go ahead. Searching for a script, doing something. I don't know what's going on. Who cares? But because many people they say, right, they there's this legit concern that you have with superpower tools more responsibility, of course, but also you may have the chance to see things, to achieve clarity, right? So it doesn't really matter if it's code or writing and management, as Andy Grove said, likely in high output management book. The whole point of making the report is making the report, right? After you make the report, you can trash the report. That's what we have here, right? We're achieving clarity as we go. I didn't know in the beginning that the blobs were part of the more organized architecture. That's how life goes. We know that already. AI is not bringing any scary new thing going on, right? We are collaborating from ages with other people, and they're doing whatever they want to do, right? Because when they wake up happy in a Saturday to code and work, sometimes they introduce unneeded things as well, right? And we're paying them because we're paying people, because we're helping people, right? Well, we're helping agents as well. I guess in the end of the day, it boils down to culture. The age that we're entering here, the slight modification I would say to how we do things is the culture code matters, maybe. More? No. Pausing again. Still working on. I think what we have here is this something like chief operating officer, right? Is rearranging things from here to there, establishing a culture code, right? Well, we're doing that for a while already. One thing I regret when we are like giving to the agent tools, things to do or experiments, I think one point there is, when you're like giving too much, right? For instance, this business case for this presentation case, these 7 directories are not being used there. The context of the problem could be solved with this file and the 2 other files that I wanted the system to look at. Sometimes, the tool is like looking around, right? Oh, let me look what's going on here. Maybe this person forgot something. So I think that's also solved with culture. So it's what we're talking about is that certainly a narrative paradigm defining culture code. Pausing again. Okay, it's been like almost, I don't know, 5 minutes, a little bit more, but I found something. This change was good, Effect handlers, blob and sidekick applied to the parent level element. That's really good. That's good, right? And still like in the first task. Oh, readme is coming through, right? Okay. Card stack behavior. That's something. Yeah, got again a new section. Effect handlers. Ambient behaviors now live in the public lib effect handlers, which register singleton services that basic player can drive on every forward backward transition. That's beautiful. This is communication for people. Two handlers ship out of the box. No, you're not using marketing language, my friend. Maybe that's an objective marketing wording there. I know, but blob rebuilds BP blob something, rotates morphs the blobs when navigation happens. Slide kick or kick straight, card kick out, rewind transformations. So both directions stay visually consistent. That's beautiful. Dex enable handlers via the new effect init handlers array inside the index. Yeah, that's good actually, right? It's showing the architecture. It's what I asked, I think. Omit the property to opt into the default blob slide kick or pass a tailored list to experiment with alternatives. Cover and slide capture workflow. That's something we had before. Because this is actually a system, it's a slide player for dealing with software animations, That's just so that oh, all of the sudden 4 items, check, yet something's going on. Checking line numbers, something, read app. I think I can keep live here and wait, maybe inspecting helper functions. It seems to be not so far, right? Read me again, updates, thinking again. It's probably doing some checks there. If everything is okay. Another reading to the library, preparing line number of reference. So it's probably grasping the work to give me a summary of the changes. This is good, not bad at all. Summarizing code updates, verification steps, yet thinking. All right, go ahead, my friend. Go ahead, we can do it. We can do it, right? Many tokens spent there. Oops, I got something here. Added something. Library, refactored, tweaked styles, updated every HTML entry point. Wow, you're kidding me. I asked it to not update. Every HTML entry point. What is that? No, where is that? Tweak it, update entry point that boots basic player to load the effect handler script. See. Oh, I see. Yeah. But this was this is old. We're not using any more HTML. And the player templates index just said, yeah, document the architecture here. Attach the handlers to the client case. Yes, I saw that. Node index to confirm unsatisfied. You want to migrate. Yeah, it respected my intent. Okay, so now I stop and restart. Kill that. Reload this guy. Here's good, nothing changed. Opens the presentation. Yes, the beginning is okay. Oh, I see a rotation there, even though it's there is like it's not it rotated the actual parent container, right? But I see rotating and it's not too bad. And when I go back, it rotates properly. Yeah, see? Whoa, this is it, right? I can probably help fixing that rotation, but the blobs are back. Seems to be passing. Let's see if my uh, autopilot mode passes, because we do have autopilot mode. 1, 3, 2, 1. Yep, subtitle there. Yep, it's rotating in autopilot mode. That's good, that's good. Let's see if debug mode passes. Yes, debug mode. Debug mode is still working. And yeah, that's okay so far. Thank you very much. Reflection of the day, coding with Codex, using OpenAI, Codex GPT 5.1, that is as a plugin to Visual Coder. Thank you very much.